What's up guys, Jerome here from the Bonsai Supply. Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to work on a very special tree, which is a Gumbo Limbo. So a Gumbo Limbo is not often used in bonsai. However, I think it is a really great species. Gumbo Limbo, you find them a lot in like Puerto Rico and Florida in a very tropical climate. They only grow in growing zones such as 10 and above. And the cool thing is that the bark, as they get older, starts to turn orange and starts to peel. So it looks like almost like paper. And Gumbo Limbos are often referred to as the tourist trees because when the tourists come to Florida, they turn orange by the time they leave and they look just like the Gumbo Limbos. An interesting thing to know about this specific tree is that this is not an air layer and this is also not a Yamadori, a collector tree. This is a cutting. Yes, you heard right, a cutting. I cut this piece off of a mature tree. It was a branch. I cut it off, I stuck it in this pot, and that was about 6 months ago. And I have all of this growth from just 6 months ago. So as you can see, they grow extremely fast. So these cuts is what I made when I collected it. And all of this is new growth. So today we're going to defoliate the tree. We're going to take it back into shape, and we're going to start to work on clip and grow. We're also going to fix these stray cuts, and then we have to put this tree into a shallower pot, and we're going to have to work on developing the roots. So I'm going to show you a really cool trick on how you can develop a really cool root system. So let's get right to it. I need to call for Mari because she's the defoliation queen, and of course she needs to help me defoliate. So I don't know where she is. I called her a while ago. It's typical Latin. Ooh!
Okay, let's do this
All
the
right.
right way.
All right.
Because it's the weekend.
Cheers. Happy Bonsai Saturday. Bonsai Saturday.
You'll see this on a Wednesday, but it's actually the weekend when we're doing it.
Ooh, this is good. All right. So, defoliating. Just like any other tree, hold the branches and just pull the leaves back. And just take off the leaves. Leave the little stem, which is called the petiole, for dieback, and remove all the leaves. That's it. Pretty straightforward. So I'm going to start on this side. So the next thing that we're going to do is, you see all these straight cuts. So this straight cut in the back, whenever you collect a tree or you cut a tree back really hard and do its initial styling, before you let it grow out again, you always cut it straight because you never know where these are going to come out. And as you can see here, this one has thickened up so much that it's starting to roll. And usually what I would do is just take my saw and cut it down at an angle like that so that it can roll over at an angle versus this. Because if it's rolling over like this, it's going to look really ugly. But if I shave it off, it's going to roll over really nicely. And in some years, you're not going to be able to tell that there was ever a cut made here. However, since I have a branch here and one here, I cannot use a saw and just shave down. So I'm going to have to use my knob cutters and just slowly work away on this and bring it down to an angle where it can easily roll. So let me show you what that looks like. So this is exactly what you want. So before it was a straight cut and now I shaved it down to this. I did use a number of tools. I used a knob cutter. I used the chisel away on the ends. And then at the very end here where I had enough space, I then used my saw. You could also do this work with a Dremel if you wanted to. I prefer to do it with hand tools. So now I have to go ahead and do this work on all of these flush cuts here. So I have one here, I have one over here, one here, here, and here. So I see this tree at an angle. Right now, this is leaning back. I see the tree sitting more something along these lines. I'm gonna cut all of these long branches back just because I wanna work already on clip and grow. And since this tree grows so fast and thickens up so fast, this would not be a really good candidate for wiring. Like, this is not a good wiring type of tree. I mean, you could, but you would have to, I mean, this is already too thick to wire. You would have to wire the branches when they're thinner than this. This, if I were to wire it, it would snap immediately. The branches break extremely fast because they're filled with so much water. So I'm gonna cut them all back and then let them grow out again. And as they heal, by the time these branches are done healing these cuts, I'm gonna have some nice natural movement in the branches. Also good to know is if you want to heal over a wound, for instance, you see how this wound in the front doesn't have any branches around it? This is not going to, most likely is not going to heal itself and roll over completely. But when you have a wound, it's always good to have a branch on top of the wound because it sends its energy down past the wound all the way down to the roots. So if I didn't have this branch, but this branch alone would not heal this over. But since I have one on top, all of these cuts will heal over in no time. And that's why I have a branch, I left a branch on top everywhere. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and just trim all the branches back. Here. So just cut this branch off from here. So now I can actually take this branch and just stick it in some soil and this will continue to grow. Extremely fast, just like a bougainvillea or a jade or a tree like that you can just take cuttings from. Would you like to go ahead and plant this?
Of course I want.
Show him. Alright, so as you can see I cut all the branches back and this is what's left. And that's on purpose. You want to cut them back really far, let them shoot out again, defoliate the tree, cut it back where to whoever this next branch has stopped the movement is what I'm trying to say. So wherever this branch grows out to, whenever you come back, you're gonna have a nice movement in here in these branches. So now we're gonna go ahead and take this tree out of this pot and see how much roots we have. So I removed all the, almost all of the black soil. I also removed all the roots from underneath, and that's for a good reason because now I'm going to attach a tile to the bottom of the tree, and I'm actually going to drill, I'm going to attach the tile to the tree with a screw. And that's for a good reason because now, well, first of all, when I plant the tree again, I can tie the wire over the tiles. That's for one reason, but for an even more important reason is so that I can develop a really nice root system. because as these roots now start to grow, they won't grow down right away like you would see on a regular tree. They have to grow over the tile and then grow down. So this actually allows me to develop a really nice root flare, because as you see, these roots have to go down over the tile and then out and then down, which means I'm going to develop a really nice root flare all the way around. You could call this like a lateral root system, but that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to use a deck screw and a little washer. And the deck screw is just so that it doesn't start to rust inside the tree. And then just a little washer. And so it's going to sit on this tile for probably the next 2 years. So you see where the tile is attached exactly to the bottom of the roots here, and the roots now have to grow over the tile and then down into the pot. So as these roots start to thicken up, that's going to create a really nice root layer here at the base. So I'm just going to shave these top roots down a little more. And as you can see, just this was not an air layer, so I have roots all the way around, so you can see how aggressive these are in terms of growing these from cuttings. They grow extremely well. Okay. Alright, so this is actually a really good first grow container to develop your tree. This is just an oil pan. I just drilled some holes at the bottom for drainage, but this works quite well. And this is like the first step before it goes into a bonsai pot. Alright, so actually even though this is just a training container, I'm still going to use good bonsai soil. I'm not going to reuse black soil anymore here. So now I just have to find the right angle for the tree and then tie it down with this tile. And something like this. Alright, so the tile is a really good solution because I can tie the wire now. I can tie the tree down on the tile versus having to find a way to secure the tree, like with guide wires to keep it in place. With this tile, I can actually already choose the preferred angle, and I'm going with something like this. This will be my front right in here in the tree. So this tile helps me really to tie the tree down in the correct position, and it's going to develop a really nice root system. So it's actually 2 in 1. Alright, so it's been just a few weeks, and as you can see, this tree has come back really strong and really healthy now that it has been repotted into some proper bonsai soil, and it has grown over 1 foot. So that's very impressive. So this tree is growing very strong and powerful. This is it for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below in the comment area, and make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I'll catch you guys next time.